The grand final, Ordrek Pass kicks us off with a best of 7 series. Yep, we got the Rocket Raccoons going up against the Exodia stack. The red team just able to win with a 3-2 victory in the losers bracket final. A little bit of a tragic series, honestly, because on the first 2 maps, which were 2 maps that Team Rip lost, the team didn't have their main tank. They played with the sub player. Once that Crankle came back, they started winning several in a row, but on the final map, the Exodia stack, they clutched it and were able to advance to the grand final. So, Rocket Raccoons, they had a fantastic run in the tournament. It was pretty impressive, and they are a fresh breeze in the competitive scene for Heroes of the Storm right now. Not all of these players are new, or for example, I mean, we have plenty of them here, like Morenas and Play, that you've obviously seen a ton. But the team in that configuration has, to my knowledge, not played before in tournaments, and they've made a massive splash here, and pretty impressive. So I'm very curious if they can go all the way and crown themselves the champions, or if the Exodia stack, after having a rough start in their group stage and in the playoffs, are now making the full losers bracket run to the grand final and then claim the tournament victory after all. Now we have already a couple of bans coming in that are clearly respect bans. Alderac Pass is our map. The blue team gets an advantage coming from the winner bracket. They have map choice and they have first pick, first ban. So now that we're heading into Alderac Pass, they can kick things off with this. But you can see in the bans with Ophir taken out and Zeratul taken out that the Exodia stack is still very much aware that both of those heroes are a huge problem, especially Ophir played by Disciple. This could be the ban pattern for the rest of the series here fairly easily. Teams have regretted not banning Ophir against Disciple, which is actually pretty amazing in and of itself. Ophir doesn't have that big of an impact on any other team, but here teams are just not willing to deal with this whatsoever. So, with that now, we have over on the left side a couple of globals being added. We have for the blue team, for the Raccoons now, Falstad plus Brightwing. With Hogger, you already have a nice tool for your top lane. You have, in addition to that, obviously also the camp clear that is pretty quick. We have Blaze plus Anubarak on the side of the Exodia stack. And there's another advantage for the blue team, and it is that they could just observe the previous series. You can always look at it in 2 different ways, I guess. Exodia stack is definitely warmed up. They played in the entire best of 5. They are in sync right now. And you can argue that they are fully warmed up, and that gives them a bit of a lead. On the same time, they also just played 5 games. So at some point, you're getting a bit exhausted. Concentration might be lacking. One best of 5 series on this level usually shouldn't mean a lot, but again, it might play some tricks on you. Whereas the Rocket Raccoons, they're kind of fresh. They obviously played a couple of warm-up games, but they're generally fresh. They could observe the previous series, could look at a couple of drafts and just decide, is there something else that we want to get rid of, something we want to ban. For example, Tracer gets now banned right away, and this is something Dino used for the Exodia stack in the previous best of 5 early on to get them a bit of a lead. So, yeah. Always in the eye of the beholder. We'll see how this series plays out, and then we can decide later on. Sylvanas for Dino. This was actually a pick that got denied to him multiple times in the previous best of 5. But for now, the final 2 picks for our first draft on the side of the Raccoons. And we still need our main tank and something for Disciple. Hanzo it is, and Play is playing Johanna on the first map. So, last but not least, final pick for the Exodia stack. Best of 7 grand final at the Anniversary Cup. 10 years of Heroes of the Storm. Not even accounting for the Alpha and the Beta. But yeah, it's definitely been a while. Alderac Pass, our starting map. The banned maps, by the way, are Sky Temple and Braxis Holdout. All the other maps that are in the map pool here are still available. Imperius gets picked as our last choice. That means triple front line with tons of stuns once more for the Exodia stack. So let's go straight for it. Map number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Alderac Pass. Game number 1 on the left. In blue, we got the Raccoons. They made a big splash here. We have them with Disciple on Hanzo. Ubi on Hogger, Morenas is playing Falstad. We got Play on Johanna and Scorch on Brightwing. On the right side of the map, after their victory in the losers bracket final, we now have the Exodia stack with Bloodcool on Blaze. We got Hazops on Imperius. We have Bad Benny on Anubarak, Dino on Sylvanas, and Yazu on Rhaegar. Well, and whatever the pause is, apparently somebody disconnected right at the beginning, but he's already back, and so we're good to go. So starting the grand final off with a little bit of a disconnect over here, but as long as this is the only one that we have throughout this event, then yeah, we're going to be fine with it. Bit of a Sylvanas attack at the top that kicked us off. Not a lot of damage done. They actually predicted it well and immediately moved in and made sure that they didn't run into any issues here. So, yep. We go, but there's the stun comb, and play goes down. Yep, well done. Stun comb is in, play goes down. That's the end of Johanna in the early game. No counter kill. They got close on Imperius and Anubarak, but they weren't able to kill anyone. So early game momentum from the Exodia stackers. They're able to pick up first blood. Down at the bot lane, Bloodcool all alone here right now. And over on the right side, that's when we're now looking at the camp about to be taken. Hogger obviously ping-ponging around on the left side, doing the exact same thing for the Raccoons. And all the way top with a global. Still Falstad doing some work here. Only team that has a global. So the only team that is running a global in this game is the blue team, which means that as the map opens up, they could have a pretty decent chance of actually getting some value here from Falstad in general. As he gets stunned, Brightwing comes in, the entire team is at the top, Falstad gets locked into a corner, and that's another kill. These CC chains that we're getting from the Exodia stack are absolutely dirty. This is essentially the same lineup at the front that they played on the final map on Infernal Shrines against Team Rip, and they are just stunning them out time and time again. Heroes of the stun. That's what somebody called it in the YouTube comments just recently, and I can totally agree. So yeah, at that point you can just take your hands off the keyboard and the mouse because there's nothing you can do anymore. So in this point we have down at the bottom of the map still Hogger doing his solo thing, but Bloodcool is taking over and is coming back on him. Morenas over here. Yeah, is again with Falstad still in a position where he can do work later on, but he just died. So that's the second kill that Exodia stack got for themselves. When it comes to the builds, we also now have on level 4 Subdue again for Jojo, so we're going to see if a situation around the objective happens later, where she can even complete that and lock that in fully, which is again giving her basically a stun. Not quite, but an 80% slow is, yeah, still fairly powerful. Now, Camps are getting taken time and time again here. And down at the bottom of the map, Falstad still getting them a bit of XP. You can already tell that the lead in experience is not really that huge despite the 2 kills that the Exodia stack got. Now they are of course hoping for a little bit more than that. And now having Anubarak trying to cheese the objective, and that's exactly what it does. So you spawn a few beetles, the guards are attacking them, and then you can get the channel for free. And this is something that Anubarak players have been doing for a long time. Masquerade was actually the one to start this on this map. And right now, that gave them a pretty significant lead on the objective without having to do anything for it. So, massive lead for them. And this is pretty big. You do that a couple of times and all of a sudden, you know, you run away with an objective or you put your opponent into a position where they have to play a really cautious game there. It's one of the reasons why most of the time when Anubarak gets chosen on Aldrich Pass, you have someone kind of guarding his position and really watching out for where exactly he is positioning himself so that they can react to it and interrupt him and force him back if he tries to play. At times we've even seen bans against Anubarak. This time it seems like, yep, Azu goes down. Hazops gets killed, and that's first blood on the, well, technically first blood on the side of the blue team. So they put the first kill onto the board for themselves here. Could have maybe even followed it up with a second, but good moves from the Raccoons. Again, it's the first actual game that they played today, so they might have to find their rhythm first a little bit. But they're doing okay in the fight down here. Falstad isn't here yet, neither is Imperius, of course, as he's now just slowly starting to rejoin the team. But that kill gave some XP over to the Raccoons too. It's kind of dirty at times to have like Sylvanas and Anubarak pushing. Because, yeah, there it is again. Look at Benny. He's instantly starting to move over and he's like, well, maybe I'm going to get the rest here. So this is exactly what he's going to be trying to do time and time again. So whenever he disappears from the map, they should be a bit careful here. Play was also able to do that a little bit, but obviously the problem that he has, he can't spawn beetles, which means that those grunts are eventually going to make sure that it's recaptured. It kind of put them on even footing though. So it was still a pretty nice little move from Play, and makes the access to the objective a bit easier now just in general. There's more pressure on the Exodia stack too. Oh, this on the other hand. Stun, 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 stun. Yep, that's a problem. That is another kill for the red team. They hit level 10 and it seems that the first objective is going to go over to the Exodia stack. It's at least going to be very difficult for the Raccoons to stop this one. Their ults are in. No surprises, by the way. Blessed Shield is also now ready. They pushed the bottom fight past the fort, and now Exodia stack is making a play for that. Oh, Cocoon! Dodged by Ironskin. Play with a really nice little move, dodging that one. And that could have been, of course, a kill if they followed up on it. So, look at Johanna here. Check out Jojo at the top left as Anubarak just sits there. And there, bam, Iron skins it out and is able to walk away from it. So, job well done. They lost the fort at the bottom of the map, but this could have been worse. And now, Benny... No way. No way. And then he gets his armor through. And it's again at 19 hit points. You are kidding me. Hanzo gets the connect, but he is still able to escape. That's twice now that he made it. Benny, just insane survivability here. Topside fort is down, Falstad has fallen, and the Exodia stack is on their way to gain more and more of an advantage here. Ah, boy. I'm getting a little bit worried also for the team in blue, because them pausing kind of indicates that they might actually have some problems with someone disconnecting here. I'm not quite sure if it happened. Maybe Falstad has dropped out, but yeah, regardless, this is just wild. Benny surviving several times as they just use everything they have to try and take him down is crazy. Now with the first objective, it looks like 3 forts will fall, which is a massive, massive advantage. If you take 1 fort out with the first objective, it's already a win, but taking out 3 of them is a crazy lead. Keep in mind, we're 7 minutes into the game here. This is basically nothing. The game has just started. The problem is simply that we have Sylvanas helping with the push and enhancing it further, and then you have also the Anubarak presence with beetles that can soak up tower shots depending on where exactly they're pushing with whom. Sylvanas herself now on 11,000 damage. They don't have a lot of damage here. Hanzo has 21,000 at this point, but it doesn't really matter too much if you can't get those kills. So that's a huge problem right now for the Raccoons, and I am not sure how they're going to deal with it, given how far behind they're already in this game. So, apparently the pause was triggered by Falstad, and it seems that Morenas is having some serious issues with his connection, and said that it's so bad that he essentially can't play. He died twice now already, and we'll see if they are able to stabilize his connection or whatever the issue is, because this would be pretty rough. If you're entering the grand final and one of your players immediately comes in and says like, well, I'm having massive issues right now. He seems to be disconnecting quite a bit. Yeah. So it's apparently not only when they're pausing, but that issue has been persistent throughout the entire early game. That would be a problem. Morenas is one of the key players in this team for sure. And now they are going for him at the top. Cocoon is there immediately. And that's another kill against Falstad. So he seems to be disconnecting and dropping out of it a lot. And this is just not good. 3 kills against him already. Him getting targeted at the top immediately after this happens. And now they are down 4 kills. They don't have level 13 talents yet. They lost every single fort, and the red team has continued to the boss at the top lane and they're going to get this one essentially for free because the blue team is using all their time in the middle of the map trying to take some of the structures out. Blessed Shield is out. They want to get a kill too. They're trying for Blaze, who just bunkers up and is fine. Now, Falstad is back, and let's hope that things get better for Morenas, because that would be a disaster. That's not how you want that grand final to go. Damage output, we got 13,000 for Sylvanas, 22,000 for Hanzo. The push towards the top now from the red team. They have the boss taken, so with that they can now easily start using Sylvanas to try and go for the keep here. Pushes a bit further, and while this happens, Anubarak is cheesing again on the camp. We can't do it with a couple of heroes. Anubarak is one of them. It's well known. It's one of the reasons I pointed out earlier why oftentimes he's even banned on this map if you suspect that your opponent has an idea of like doing this. Gust, this one was actually fairly on point. Morenas is jumping out and Brightwing is there for the rescue. But, well, the Ancestral is also keeping Imperius alive. But we have a kill on Rhaegar. After he got the Ancestral through, he gets targeted, gets destroyed. They try for Blaze, who, by the way, does not have a bunker, and he dies as well. Falstad with a double kill. Seems like Morenas is looking a bit different here now. Maybe things have stabilized for him. At least he's able to get 2 kills for his team with rest. And Hanzo locks in an Anubarak kill. The bug got crushed. The Exterminator is in the house, and that was the end of Bad Benny. So now it's 4 kills to 5, and they are looking good. They might get this objective. By the way, it was nearly claimed by the red team. They were massively ahead. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, that the blue team doesn't commit more to this. They are obviously lacking in level 16 talent, but then again, when you think about it, they're still, with the Anubarak missing, they had a shot at really making this a thing. I believe that what they're trying to do is lock 16 in for themselves and then simply solve the situation through team fighting. So that's also one way to approach it, and they get level 16. But given that they're so far behind, well, maybe not so far, but they're definitely behind on the objective. 1.9 seconds is not a whole lot. That's Anubarak moving in and just cheesing it for 2 seconds, and then you get it. That's definitely in the cards. So they're trying to get pressure through now. They believe, obviously, in their team fighting chances here. 4 kills to 5 still, and everybody is now centered around the objective at the top. 11 minutes into the game. Game number 1 of the best of 7 series. There's the stun, double stun. Rhaegar with the Ancestral, Gust into a corner. They're still getting some damage in, but they YOLO'd out every single ult that they had, and now they are losing Hogger. Hogger is down, Brightwing got cocooned. There's the follow-up on Falstad. It's just too much. The bird is gone. The CC chain is insane. It is absolutely crazy. The Exodia stack has executed that particular combo multiple times now. And when they get rolling with those CCs, they can just stun anyone into oblivion, totally destroy them with it. And now we have an objective claimed by the red team, and they're going to follow up with a boss too. This is obviously revealed. The Raccoons know what's going on, but they cannot do anything about it. They're sending Jojo down, maybe to take the wave out, I suppose, but she's not going to mess with the boss take itself. Can't stop this, even with Hanzo around. They're still waiting for Falstad, and that's an easy claim here. This one is going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. It's going to hit really hard. This will be a problem, and a big one. Now, Falstad cancels the fly right now. We still have the next blue push over here. Arrow from Hanzo. Trying to poke from the side. Gets cocooned as he jumps away. Falstad will have to gust. And does. Gust them out. They're trying to get a kill in the middle. They might actually be able to pull it off, and they do. Blaze is gone. Blaze eliminated, and now they can hope to defend, but the keep at the top, for example, has already been eliminated. It means that the first armor shield on the core is gone. Imperius with another lunge, but misses it. Sylvanas is pushing. Core is defending itself. And with the boss down at the bottom of the map, they need a few more heroes to defend down here too. Hanzo alone is not going to be able to prevent... I mean, maybe he's able to prevent the keep from falling, but it's going to have a lot of damage. So, yeah, boss core is still fine. down at the bottom of the map. This one, they still gotta defend quickly, and I'm not quite sure that they can do this in time. Yep, the keep is... Okay, it's basically gone. You can't tell me that we're not gonna see someone move in and deliver the final blow here. This is gonna happen. 34,000 damage for Sylvanas now. We got 46,000 for Hanzo. And they're just going from boss to boss. Honestly, they're just rotating on the map. There's like Dino's like, hey, there's another boss up, let's go. Experience is nearly the same between the teams. They kill a Nuburak and now they go for Blaze, but I don't think they've realized that the boss is about to be taken. So if they, even if they can take Blaze, who has a bunker and can delay it, they need to figure out what's happening up here, and they're going to be too late to the party no matter what. So that boss is going to be taken too. And yeah, that is top lane pressure that is going to go straight for the core. Shouldn't be too big of a problem defending it, given that they still have 2 armor shields. But it's going to hurt regardless. Have to do something, I guess. I don't think you can defeat it alone, right? Well, by the way, they are dropping so low in HP here. The Exodia stack is barely able to survive through this. Level 20 talents are now ready though. Falstad has applied more pressure to the bot lane. They haven't taken a single fort out yet. Falstad might have to go back here. But this is going to be a big battle between the two. And I guess the boss is going to be fine. Okay, well, the core. I keep calling the core the boss because at the end of the day it's a raid boss. I guess. So, yeah, we have this one defending quite nicely. But it's always a little bit, yeah, weird. 20 is not ready yet. Hogger was at the top. They need to stop this. So they're already moving in a bit early. But they're going to get their level 20 talents, and there they are. So now we have Falstad also with Epic Mount. So they're trying to leverage the global abilities a little bit more on the birdie and do their thing here. This one has been defeated, so now it's just time to make sure that it recovers the hit points. And they are going for the objective now themselves. And lock at least the channel in. So the interrupt from Blaze came too late. Weren't able to do anything to shut that down. So the lead goes for now to the blue team. But they're already falling back from the point again. Also partly because Sylvanas is pushing again. But they're going for Nuburak. Ah, can't get... Well, maybe they can get the kill. They're trying again on Imperius, and he is gone. Falstad with a fly. Gets a gust off against Blaze, who has a bunker ready and will have to use it, honestly, from the looks of it. So yeah, bunkers up. If they can follow up on that, they might even be able to take him down completely. But the Ancestral saves the day for Bloodcool. The blue team still looking okay though, but now the focus on play might shut Jojo down. Benny, yeah, the cocoon. The cocoon from Benny allows him to get out. He's been playing some really, really close battles, but he's been able to survive through pretty much all of them. This, on the other hand, is a problem. This is another keep that is about to fall, and it seems like the blue team is fully determined to get themselves at least the objective here. They send Falstad to deal with the situation in the middle. He is going to be able to save that, but he will also have to help the team, and there's another wave already coming, so this makes things really tricky. Imperius is still gone. Falstad flies in. Yeah, and can only chase them away. But the interrupts are continuing. One interrupt after another. Blaze is trying, but the channel has again happened, so once more Bloodcool is just a little bit too late. And they're chasing a Nuburak. Imperius is ready. The objective could theoretically be claimed by them right now. But Imperius is back, and now it's a 5 versus 5. And that makes this an even battle that the red team is willing to take. The keeps, by the way, on the blue team side are all solo. They're both going to be destroyed in a moment if those minion waves make it any closer to them. Here comes the lock on Hogger, and he's gone. Hogger's gone. No chance. That's him eliminated. The objective is taken. They got the objective, but now the bottom keep will fall. Falstad is trying to save it, and it's just not happening. And in the middle of the map, this one needs to be stopped as well, or they're going to lose another one here. And Jojo dying here. Oh, yeah? For the Raccoons, this is not great. They are losing the final keep in the middle now. It's a 5 versus 3, which means that all of the armor shields are now gone. This thing is an oversized minion. If you just cough on it, it's gonna fall. And they're absolutely ignoring the objective. They're like, we don't care. We just go and end the game now. There's the combo. They go for Hanzo. He's gone. Bam! The Exodia stack with the first game. Easy. 11 kills, 2-7. Falstad the only one that survives the final attack here. Well, actually, scratch that. He's gonna die as well. 5-man team wipe. And that is the end of Alderac Pass as the Exodia stack takes the lead in the best of 7 series at the grand final of the Anniversary Cup. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Towers of Doom, map number 2. The Exodia stack is in the lead. So, no hesitation. Viking ban. Immediately. Vikings get banned right away after the last series. That doesn't surprise me. Does the Ophia ban surprise me? No, it doesn't shock me whatsoever. We already talked about Ophia before. Disciple is just too good on the hero. And they are not going to allow Ophia through in the entire series. That's at least what we can expect here. Now, Tracer also gets banned. As I said before, there was a loser bracket final that the Raccoons could watch, and Tracer played a pretty significant role here. But as I also highlighted during the last draft, it is highly likely that the Exodia stack, unless things stop going their way, will stick to the draft pattern that they have here, the ban pattern. They're going to go for an Ophia ban, they're going to go for a Zeratul ban. Both of those are high impact heroes for the Raccoons. So as long as banning those results in them winning, they're not going to change that system. If at any point they feel that there's like something they need to adjust to, some hero that is a problem, then yeah, that's going to be obviously something they might have to react to and shift the priorities a little bit on those bans. But now we have Dehaka locked in as a quick first pick, and over on the red team side we're starting with Lucio plus Junkrat. Towers of Doom, you want to have your mobility there. With Dehaka, there's already a global for the blue team. I hope that Murena's issues are resolved now. It seemed like he got better towards the end of the first game. Would be quite a shame if they are heavily impacted by connection issues on one of their key players. Now, we got Brightwing, we got Chromie. And yeah, with Brightwing again, you have obviously for the second time now your dual global, so to say. Last time it was Falstad plus Brightwing, now we have Dehaka. Could go for the triple, could go for the birdie as well. And get the chicken into the house. Play some Falstad here too. Jojo gets banned out, so they're actually targeting play a little bit on her and try to just eliminate that. I mean, play has been a staple at the front line for them. But Johanna taken away, maybe a bit annoying here. We'll see exactly what also the Exodia stack has in mind. With Lucio, Sylvanas, Greymane, still picks for them. We had actually a fair amount of Greymane games throughout all of this. But we have to keep our eye on Dino. And now they're getting rid of Stitches. Yeah, so no hooks here on Towers of Doom. One of the heroes that got banned in the previous series a lot is Medivh against Exodia stack. I would absolutely not mind to see a couple of Medivh plays eventually. Now, to be fair, at least one of those bans was when the team that opposed them picked Stitches, and Medivh obviously is very, very good at shutting Stitches plays down with either the shield or just simply providing a portal whenever a hook gorge occurred. But right now we get Muradin and Hogger, so that already allows us with Hogger a nice solo lane for them. Hogger up against Dehaka. Then you have also Muradin with some mini stuns that he can pull off, and the mobility, of course, to boot. So traversing between the lanes and some of the debris is not going to be a problem either. With Junkrat, you have also nice interrupts against channel attempts on the other team's altars. So if he can from a distance just get that in, that would work. ETC and Cassia. Alright. ETC is back and we have Cassia this time. I kind of expected them to maybe lock in Hanzo again, to be honest. Gives you the vision and also the interrupts here on towers, and you can get some CC chains going with a good and well-placed arrow. But now we have Cassia for them. And play you in ETC is definitely something that I'm looking forward to as well. But our final pick, Dino. Again, we're heading into game number 2 of the best of 7 series. Nova! Okay. Yeah. Didn't see that coming. Nova for Dino. Towers of Doom. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 2. Okay, we have a Nova game. Player killer number 1 is in the house. Unexpected, but I'll take it. Now, over on the left side, we have the Raccoons with Disciple going into some Cassia play with stacking on level 1 with Thunderstroke. We got Ubi on the Haka. Brackwing played by a Scorch. Morenas is on Chromie this time. And we have play on ETC. Over on the right side, this is where it got really interesting. Hazops on Junkrat. Dainu with the advanced cloning on Nova. We got Bad Benny on Murden. Bloodcool on Hoga. And Yazu is playing Lucio. Okay, let the games begin. Game number 2, the lead for the Exodia stack in the series in this best of 7 grand final. And now Dino decided that it is time for Nova in the grand final. A bit of a surprise draft here, I guess, but definitely something that I personally did not expect. So we'll see. There's no bounty system here yet, Dino. You don't have to go, you can't bank them. It's not something that you can all of a sudden claim. You have to wait for the next tournament in order to make that happen. Now, all the way up at the top, we have Bloodcool going up against the Haka, or 1-on-1 lane has been established. And now down here, Stormbolt, connect, and that should be a kill. Disciple gets just bullied around. Gets booped around by Junkrat, and Lucio comes in, pushes him as well. Nova gets a few connects there, and at the end of the day, it's Muradin who is able to take him on. Nova in the mid lane now, using her amazing wave clear to take down the wave and get some experience for the team. I think there are very few heroes that are as bad as clearing a wave as Nova is. So, yeah. But already we're having a couple of the shots fired against the Haka, as he is very heavily reminded that he should go that he shouldn't go up against 3 heroes that are starting to take a camp. So, yeah. Easily dissuaded here. No chance for him. Now, with this said and done, next plays, obviously. We're now having at the bottom of the map, yeah, the next play for a kill. And it could be Bad Benny, and it is Bad Benny! Somebody just got hammered by Chromie. Morenas is able to lock the entire combo in, and the Dwarf goes down. So, Budget Gimli is destroyed. And, yeah, in the middle of the map, still a bit of pew-pew from Nova and her decoys. But over towards the middle, it seems like we're going to get a visit from the Haka as well. He's at least hoping that he can follow up on maybe a power slide. Problem is that ETC is already at this point pretty darn low. So, nothing happening there. Kill for a kill. Couple of stacks already for Cassia, as we have the triple altars. The first objective rotating in on this. So, yeah. Does it mean if we are calling Murden Peter Dinklage here? Peter Dinklage of the Nexus. Another little hop, and misses the Stormbolt. Alright. So, apparently Tyrion looked a little bit too deep into the Vine Flask here. Yasuo still on the run, and at the bottom they go. Oh, bye-bye. Chromie is gone. Bye-bye. Yep. Yeah, exchanging altars, but at the bottom of the map it was the battle for the third one that now is officially lost to the Raccoons. They have no chance of taking this one back. Chromie getting destroyed here, and that was the second kill for the Exodia stack. So they get 2 out of the 3 altars at the beginning of the game. Now, a few more pokes against play here as he moves back out. 11-7 talents are kicking in, and that gives us the perfect shot for our girl. So Nova right now, not with the top damage in the game yet. I mean, again, player killer number 1 here. The meme is alive and well, as long as Dino performs accordingly. And he is getting at least a couple of pokes in. Dodges everything that Chromie throws against him. Muradin is a bit low though, and actually toys with his life here. Benny! I don't know if I should be impressed that he somehow always survives through these situations. I just remind you of the Anubarak games and plays that we've seen on Alderac Pass. Or if I should be worried that he always finds himself in a spot where he's just insanely low. Earlier he died to Chromie, and it could happen again. Now he sees the Haka coming his way, and he gets out. But a lick on Nova, It's not going to be enough. They're trying to get that. Well, actually, it is enough. They're trying to get the kill, and they do. They were able to rotate the rest of the team over to take Nova out, so that is Dino gone. And player killer number 1 has now officially been eliminated. 2 kills to 2. Blue team doing a little bit better here compared to the early game in All Direct Pass. And yeah, still some poke happening as the blue team, as the Rocket Raccoons, are going and steal the camp away. And succeeding with that. Brightwing is faking being a dragon, by the way, again. The skin should actually be a penalty. It should be penalized. If you pick this skin as a Brightwing player, what should actually happen is that randomly at certain moments in the game, it can happen that Deathwing comes from the skies, drops a superhero landing onto the fruit fly and just eats her. That should be a thing, a risk that you take when you lock that skin in. I think that is absolutely justified. This is actually right down Blizzard's alley. They always want a little bit more RNG, so there you go. That's a perfect one. Muradin is dead again. Not only him, Lucio's dead too. That's a double kill. So now they're taking the lead in XP, and they're taking the lead in kills, and they're also getting the altar. So, yep, all of a sudden we have a lead and advantage for the Raccoons, who struggled in game number 1. Maybe it was the one game that they needed to warm up a little bit. I actually talked about this during the first draft. That's always like the weird thing. On the one hand, you don't want to play too many games before you head into the grand final because it exhausts you. On the other hand, just playing a couple gets you into a spot where you're properly warmed up. And I personally believe that it's just different when you're playing tournament games than if you just go, you know, for a bit of an ARAM to warm up for a brawl, or even just play a Storm League game. It's just not the same thing. And you might not have the entire team ready to go proper scrim warm-ups, or have somebody that you can play against in a situation like this. Either way, as it stands, game number 2, at least initially, off to a much better start for the Raccoons than what we witnessed on All Direct Pass. And Muradin is, I mean, struggling is maybe the wrong word, but he is definitely facing the consequences of some of his plays a lot more now in game number 2. No matter how much I praised him a second ago of getting out of a lot of these situations. Bloodcool, yeah, that was a big miss. He anticipated the Haka trying to skirt away to the left side. That wasn't the case, so it made him look a little bit silly as he completely whiffed the ult. But yeah, that's... Oh, again! The dance party over here. Nice! That was a hit. So, that's Muradin gone for the 3rd time. Muradin, the problem is with all the kills that they're getting, the bell tower conversion, the first one that happens, that goes towards the red team. So the Exodia stack is now in control of 5 bell towers. Brightwing is still getting the channel here, I guess. Yep. Gets the channel, the grenade was not able to interrupt it, but that's only 3 shots fired. So 29 to 32, that's all that they got. But the plays around ETC are really working for them. Here he comes again, and again it's Muradin that is on the receiving end. Not dead yet, but Benny could still die, has to pop his avatar. These situations are getting massively tricky for him. And the Raccoons are clearly targeting him. They know they can blow that tank up easily. So now we have Thunderstroke at 36 stacks out of 65,000, so still a long way to go until he finishes it. Great job, Blizzard. But we have level 13,000 now for them too. So, couple of stacks for Cassia. She's not doing too badly. She's actually doing pretty okay. Level 13 on the other side. It gives us the cyanotic efficiency. And again, they go for Benny, and Benny is gonna die again. Benny is gone once more. That is, what is this, 4 deaths? I think it's 4, right? Should be 4. It's 4. So, Muradin is turning into Murderdin. He's getting murdered a lot over here. That joke was so bad that reserved it normal. Yeah, that was horrible. That was atrocious. I'm ashamed. Like, my ancestors are still going to, yeah, honestly, that was, oof. That was horrible. 6 kills to 2. That's the good part, though. Yeah. with the blue team just absolutely rolling this now. Chromie trying to defend at the top. They are still attempting to retake that bell tower. This is a big problem, honestly. That's 5 shots fired from Dino now. They are going to get this one eventually, I suppose, but it's still only going to get them so much. So the problem is the same at the end of the day. They're going for kills, but they're starting to lose out on the actual game, on the points, on the objective. Good save by Lucio here too. That was a huge save. That was massive. That should have been a kill against Dino by all accounts, but well, player killer number 1 has so far not really worked out for them. Have to do a little bit better if they want to really win this one. Right now, they are falling behind in experience. They're falling behind in kills. Chromie is retaking the bell tower at the top, so that's a problem. Hogger, on the other hand, yeah, nearly taken out by Cassia's ult. That was fairly close. Down at the bottom of the map, Muradin is able to get away. Muradin is a bit scared here, and for good reason. Losing this one again. The hit from Nova is there and does some solid damage. Oh, they might get a kill against the Disciple, and they do. 53 stacks on Cassia, but that is finally another kill for the Exodia stack. Hell, it was about time. Yeah, that took them a while. After they locked in 2 kills early on, this one was a long time coming. So now we have 53 stacks for Cassia. Again, she's back in 20 seconds. A little bit of pressure down at the bottom of the map. Play is still riding into battle with ETC and his golden cock. And there's the chance to go and put some damage onto Muradin once more. I think this is one of Morena's best things right now. Just punishing Benny whenever he's a little bit too far out. Time and time again. But the camps are now taken. 16 is not ready yet for the Exodia stack. That's obviously the next thing that they want here. Once that they have level 16 talents, they can start to take some actual team fights again. For now, they just have to hope that somebody's out of position that they can punish. But there we have it. Shots are being fired. Each team now has 4 bell tower points. This is the triple altar phase here, the second one already. And at the top, they're interrupting, or they tried, but the Haka is going to lock this one in, and then we're fighting for the one at the bottom of the map. So, yeah, shots fired. The Haka is going to say hello from the back, and does not hit that tongue. Good reaction from Junkrat here. But this is still going to be the fight right here, right now. 6 kills to 3. Benny again. They're super even on core points. 23 to 22. Not quite identical, but getting there. Stuns, they're not doing a lot. This, on the other hand, are they going to go again for the kill on Benny? Good damage. Cassia is running this. Every fight is just massive amounts of damage by her. Now they're getting a kill on Hogger. 37,000 damage by Cassia. It honestly feels like it's more. Every single battle where I see her pop her ult, she's getting mad value out of it. Blue team is a bit low, but Brightwing should be able to complete the channel. If not for Lucio just speeding this up again. And Yasuo makes it out of the fight, but now they are without the healer. And here comes Dino and gets destroyed by Dehaka, flanking in and getting the kill. That's the second kill against Nova. She's top damage in the game, by the way, but just died for the second time. And it seems like the red team is going to fall massively behind in core points now. Muradin gets murdered, so Chromie able to get the kill. 18 points on the core against 23 now, so they are 5 behind. No play for boss, despite the 2 heroes that are dead. Instead, just controlling the top lane once again. But it is noteworthy that Nova has a lot of damage that she can bring to the table right now on the single target damage. They're just not getting the kills. And they're falling farther and farther behind in experience too. There hasn't been an additional bell tower conversion, but there's going to be 2 more altars at the bottom of the map in the next rotation. And yeah, they will apply pressure eventually. As the death timers increase, you have more wiggle room whenever you get a few kills. So they're going to apply the pressure as they can. Escorting some pumpkins in is just the first step. ETC. Yeah, gets a double stun. And Cassia is immediately ready. She's at 85 stacks now. Cassia is doing a great job here. Oh, play. Bit low there for a moment. Still fine. Disciple, yeah, Caster Curse obviously strikes immediately. I praise her and she dies. Now, to be fair, they got the bell tower in the same play, so there's at least something. But the moment you praise anyone, obviously it's going to be a death of them. Rockstopper on level 20 now, and we got the Contagion for the Haka. Now, little bit of momentum for the Exodia stack at this point. They have a 5 versus 4. They're behind a level 20 talent, but they have at least the numbers advantage. Is that going to be enough to retake the bell tower at the bot lane? It might just be. And it seems like it could. But Chromie is now... No, Brightwing is on the channel. And that's going to be 5 shots fired. Junkrat is not going to be quick enough to take this one. Actually, he is. Apparently an interrupt has happened. Yeah, with Nova getting some work done here. But so it's going to be 4 shots fired. Actually, 5 shots fired. They still have the bell tower in the middle. But then Brightwing and ETC are both dead. And Nubarak is not in the game, so I'm not quite sure why I'm talking about him. But Tehaka was trying to get a counter kill and wasn't able to pull that off. Cassia is now moving in from the top. Chromie is about to die. So is Murden, I guess. Chromie is gone. Everybody is so low and Cassia just cannot get the kills. Instead, she gets targeted. What is happening all of a sudden? Exodia stack is all of a sudden getting multiple kills here and could get the bell tower control now. There's one altar still back. This is getting insane. A lot of pew 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 here from Nova as well. But this is just getting crazy. They were already, I mean, not out in the game, but they had lost momentum completely, and they were behind the level 20 talent. And instead now they moved in, took 4 heroes out. It's 9 kills to 8 all of a sudden. 13 points against 23 on the core. There's one altar they can still take. Benny is going to delay this a little bit, or so I thought. But apparently they don't want to wait until the bell tower here has been converted over. They're getting more and more pressure done by taking the bell tower in the mid lane too. So with all of those claimed, this is now 6 bell towers against 2. 6 against 2. All they gotta do is take control over the top, and if they can get the kill in ETC, they will 100% achieve that. But there will be a barrage. The barrage is gonna start. They might be able to end it as well if they can defend. But the barrage is now officially starting. Shots are fired, and the blue team is desperately trying to take the bell tower back at the bottom of the map. Shots are fired time and time again. Minions are already blasted. They know they have to take this one, and they will get it, but they might lose heroes in the process. They're actually able to save all of them. Nicely done. And the final combo from Chromie saves the day for now. It doesn't make the situation perfect, far from it. It's still 6-2 bell towers, but they were at least able to stop the barrage at 15 to 13 points on the core. Trying to reclaim the middle now. There's still a boss up that could, in theory, also be claimed, but they haven't made a move for that yet. Insane. Just setting up the trap here. Nova went for the precision barrage. She's massively ahead, by the way, in damage. Now they're dancing just around the boss as they're going for the next camp up at the top. Now, 5 versus 3 bell tower situation. Double altar is up, and they are still hoping that they get a little bit more than only this one. Boss is the one that they're focusing on right now. And this should be something that they're able to claim. It seems like the blue team is going to be a little bit late on this. Shattering Teeth are in. Stun. And they want to go for ETC. And he is dead. Dead meat. That's a burger in the making right there. The beef is in. They want to go for the double. Disciple is dead as well. Guys, I don't know what to say here, but this is just horrific for the Raccoons. Losing heroes at that situation, at that moment in the game when the altars are already up and your bell tower's behind, then of course a few of the pumpkins make it through too, is a disaster. That's 10 shots fired right then and there. And this is game. This is just game. The Exodia stack turned it around. 2-0 lead for them right now. They pull it off and take it on Towers of Doom. GG, well played. Nova wins the game for the red team. Game number 3. 2-0 lead for the Exodia stack in the best of 7 grand final at the Anniversary Cup. Garden of Terror is our third map, and the air is getting a little bit thin up here. The Raccoons are in trouble. If they would lose this map, their own 3, and all of a sudden you have to win 4 games in a row in order to turn it around and win the tournament. Ooh, it's a rough call. It's highly unlikely. So we'll see what they can pull off, but I suppose that at this point they just need to come up with new strategy and a different game plan in order to take this. The Exodia stack seems to be on a bit of a roll and they're doing well. They just won with Nova and took the opponent down on Towers of Doom. So well-deserved 2-0 advantage for the red team. Sticking, of course, as you can see right now, to the same ban pattern that they used in the previous ones. I talked about this in the second draft. I do not see them changing that as long as they are winning with it. And a few adjustments made by the Raccoons. I mean, getting rid of Lucio here, going all in on the Overwatch bans. It's a big map. Tehaka's taken, so no Hogger pick to lock in some quick camps. We could still see, well, we are seeing the Vikings. So Vikings are the weapon of choice now for the team in red. They were denied a few times previously, but now actually we're getting some Viking action again. And we have Rhaegar. Always nice on the map. Again, you want to take camps. There's so many camps in Garden of Terror. You want to take them quickly. If Rhaegar can give you a lightning shield, you're just a little bit faster. Doesn't matter if it's an isolated incident, but if it like happens every now and then over time it adds up. Play had his Johanna banned against him last game. This time they lock her in a little bit earlier so that the third ban cannot eliminate her. We have false stats, so as they have to deal with Vikings, they have some globals. They have Tehaka plus the birdie now, so double global for them to be a little bit more flexible on how they deal with that. And yeah, here comes the Brightwing ban. They don't want to go up against the triple global, as it seems. And to be fair, Brightwing has also been played on both of the previous maps by the Raccoons. So one of the reasons why they're getting rid of her now. Don't want to deal with all those polies again here. But the same thing is true as we have in all of the games. If you're playing Vikings, you want to have a strong foreman. I could see a Sylvanas ban here. This is a huge map, and Sylvanas gets eliminated. That makes a whole lot of sense because, again, if you get with Sylvanas on any of the structures while the Vikings are keeping you busy or a few of your heroes busy on the other lanes, she can take structures down quickly. Greymane could do so as well. Just saying, you could go for full wolf pack. Rhaegar plus Greymane. You can also use Greymane to get those mercenary camps pretty quickly. We haven't seen him today yet though, so it seems to have fallen off a little bit here. Would be one option. Ooh, Variant for Benny! Old school, look at that! Yeah, there was a time when Benny played nothing but Varian for a while, which was always kind of fun. But now we have Li Ming plus Varian for that format, so they're going hero hunting. They're gonna try and start to take a couple of heroes out while the Vikings control the map and will most likely go for the seeds. Okay. Decent approach. Blue team, final 2 picks. We get Hanzo and Tyrande. Had some really nice Tyrande games in the tournament. Not a whole lot, but some spectacular ones. Is that going to be the choice here, though? Against the Varian now. If he gets on her and taunts her, whew, then she's probably going to die within seconds. Especially if the Li Ming combo lands. So, now that we have our final pick, what's Blood Cool going to take? A bit more damage would definitely go a long way for them. And as we're heading into Garden of Terror, our final weapon of choice is Tyrael. Varian meme blades incoming right now. It's gonna happen. So yeah, they have Varian and Tyrael now at the front. This is definitely going to be interesting. Okay guys, Exodia stack against the Rocket Raccoons. The third map in the best of 7. We're going to Garden of Terror. Yeah, it's getting even more spicy here in game number 3. The combo for the Exodia stack is gonna be wild. On the left, we have the blue team, the Raccoons, with Ubi on the Haka, Disciple on Hanzo, Scorch on Tyrande, Morenas on Falstad, and Play with Johanna. Over on the right side of the map, the Exodia stack. So this is where things are getting pretty spicy. Not only do we have Hazops on the Vikings, we have Dainu on Li Ming, so he's going to contribute most of the damage here. But then Yasuo on Rhaegar, and more importantly, we have Bloodcool on Tyrael, very likely going to go for Judgment, and Benny with Taunt on Varian. So this is going to lock any target down super heavily. And on top of that, you have Li Ming just looking for resets and getting combos off. So this is going to be a pretty wild one. And it's going to hurt a lot if they can execute this. The thing is that they have actually... What are you doing, Play? What? Did you guys see that mount? Did he use that? He used that already on ETC earlier. I didn't even catch that. The Raccoons are usually all using the Raccoon mount. This is why they're losing. Oh my god, I finally figured it out. He broke it. He broke the synergy. They were all running Raccoon mounts, but Play lost his faith into his team and is running... Oh my god, the golden chicken at this point. It makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense. They're not all running Raccoons anymore. Oh boy. Of course they can't win like this. Play, what have you done? That is actually a shame. Foregone conclusion here. Yeah. What I was about to say though is that with all the synergy that we got previously from the Exodia stack, with like chaining stuns, I have no doubt they will chain those abilities pretty nicely as well. So, yeah. By the way, where we just have a couple of camps being taken, once again, a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. It helps a lot to promote the video to more people that have watched Heroes of the Storm in the past and will get more people back into the game. When we had this one video just go viral the other day, it actually had exactly that effect. I had lots of comments where people were all of a sudden going like, oh, I don't know why YouTube recommended this to me, but hey, maybe I should give Heroes of the Storm another look. I abandoned the games 5 years ago. So guys, it actually is not... It's not a small thing. Sub to the channel, like the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and again, it will be promoted to more and more people, so we can get maybe a few more players back into the game as well. Down at the bottom of the map, now that we have level 4 talents kick in, the taunt has been locked in by Varian, as you would expect. Triumvirate is here too. Benny becomes immediately the target. I haven't seen a single kill yet, by the way. Could change in the middle. Nah, don't really think it's going to happen here. But, yeah. I am waiting for that level 10 talent once that we have Judgment as well. I would be a little bit shocked to see Sanctification, especially, of course, with the build that he's going currently. But yeah, they need to get some heroes blown up here, and I honestly fear for Tyrande. She's a squishy one. So is Falstad and Hanzo. So yeah, all three of them are potentially in trouble. The good news for Falstad and for Hanzo is they at least have a few escape tools, so they can try and get away. But Tyrande, not so lucky. So yeah, that's the problem there. Anyways. Now that we have some stacks coming in also for Tyrande, there's only one on a level 1 talent thus far. We get a bit more here. Varian could go for the next taunt. It's actually sitting right next to Tyrande, but instead we get the focus on Rega and he goes down. That's first blood in the game. So, Rega gets eliminated. No chance for him. By now we have already at the top Bearlock taken out. They're hunting the Vikings, of course. We talked a bit about the double global that they're running here in this game. And down at the bottom of the map, it's now his turns on Benny. They want to get a second kill after they took Rega down earlier. But Varian is able to get away. Both of the teams now on level 7 talents. So that brings us slowly towards the next play here, towards the... what's the potential move around Judgment. I want those level 10 talents so bad, you have absolutely no idea. It's gonna be fun. Judgment is always fun. Like, honestly, this is one of those talents. Sanctification is absolutely amazing, but when it comes to just like from a viewing experience, the impact of a proper Judgment and a follow-up is just awesome. So, yeah. But, either way, so far, they're just playing a pretty relaxed game. It's a little bit more tame than what we saw previously. One of the reasons that the Exodia stack obviously wants to unleash a combo on level 10. Also, they're playing around the seeds. The first one has been taken by the Rocket Raccoons. Now they got Hanzo a bit isolated down here. Yeah, but they can't do enough. Taunt was on cooldown at that point. He already used it, obviously, in that fight. been able to get a kill out of this yet. Dino needs it for the resets, but there it is, the taunt! Ah, not enough damage. Close, but it was not enough. I'm a little bit curious, well, with Calamity, no. This was one of those games where I could have also seen them try with maybe something like Glass Cannon, but if you go for Calamity, that's most of the time not the case. Dino prioritizing the tower over the Dehaka damage. I think at this point he just didn't realize it was there, and Benny immediately locked in the taunt. Dino wasn't ready for it, he was already committed to the other play. So there's the level 10 abilities, there's Judgment, as we talked about. No other surprises. The one thing to maybe point out is that Tyrande went for Starfall on level 10, as we see most of the time. But yeah, this is where things are now getting really interesting, because now you can start teeing things up very nicely through Tyrael and then follow up with the rest of vice versa. There's Judgment already, but they can't get that Li Ming damage in. That seems to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, now Hanzo's arrow is out. They're still trying to turn it. Varian dodges the lick, dodges the tongue, and moves away from the fight again. Doesn't really change the fact that they are now looking at this weird interplay where every time they are locking... Oh, what gets kicked around here? Ah, just a helmet. Yeah, that every single time that they're trying to make a move with Li Ming, the damage gets blocked and they're having some issues there. So, yeah. All the way up at the top, they go for Morenas, and that's a kill right there. So Tyrande is taken out. Did they get a heal at least in? Well, they got the Tyrande kill, not Morenas. He survived, so Falset was still fine. But Tyrande at least eliminated, shows that the comp in theory is working. They have Rhaegar already going for the next camp, and he gets a bit of an assist here. The seed is still up. This is still seed number 2, which has been available for a while. The Vikings still pushing and even escorting siege giants through at the bottom of the map. Benny is just sitting at the side here and trying to do his thing. And all the way up at the top, yeah, they're starting to go. Maybe now. That's Tyrande dead again. Benny was sitting here the entire time. Tyrande stops by, he taunts, and then Bloodcool gets into range for his Judgment, uses that, gets it quickly, and of course we're following that up with even more damage from Li Ming, and that's kill number 2 for the Exodia stack and their first seed as well. On top of that, they're now making moves for more siege giants. The globals obviously, but still a bit of a concern I would assume for the Exodia stack. If it turns into a full-on macro game where the blue team can leverage their 2 globals, that would be kind of annoying. It's all about the macro and how you use it here. But then again, we have on the other side Vikings, so they can at least force a bit of a reaction. And the experience lead still goes to Exodia stack. So hits at the top, or in the middle, as the next tower that is about to fall. Slowly inching ahead, just slightly. The next seed is also in really good territory for the Exodia stack. The red team is going to be able, or should be able to take this one without too many problems. I'm not even sure if the blue team is fully committing to any kind of attack. They might try and get Jojo into range for a shield glare or 2. But the longer they linger here, the more opportunities also for Varian to start a CC chain that could take a few of the targets down. So, yeah. Over here, well, Dino again with a hit. They're trying with the arrow. Beautiful! Beautiful play into that arrow. Jojo with a connect and then just condemn Rhaegar into the arrow, and that is that right there. So, really well done. I mean, here's another play of that. They saw the camp. Li Ming thought, hey, we're fine. The rest starts rotating over. But then they get the arrow and it syncs up so beautifully well. The Ancestral just came a moment too late. But here's Judgment as Tyrael tries to get out because the fight is not over. They're still all battling for that seed. It would be a huge win for the blue team to get this one. But Varian goes down. And with Rhaegar just now coming back, it seems like the Raccoons might claim that seed. The interrupts are still coming and Vikings are of course a problem. But there's also at the bot lane the fort that is starting to get more and more damage. So there is a lot happening on the map right now. Not all is good for the blue team. Them now losing Hanzo is definitely one of those things. Morenas is trying to get away here. No level 16 yet, so that means Largen in charge is not available for Olaf yet. The seed has been claimed, but they lost the bottom fort. So it's a little bit of a weird one. On the one hand, you get the seed and you're getting the kill on Hanzo. On the other hand, you're losing your bot lane fort, and that's the first fort in the game that gets destroyed. Still, they have to capitalize on the fact that they are now ahead on the objective. 31,000 damage for Falstad. And we got 32,000 for Liming, so she's slightly ahead. Another taunt, yeah, but the combo has just now been used, so she's on cooldown. Might be able to go in with a Calamity. They go for play, and they get the kill. Took them a little bit longer, but they were able to lock it in. Now, 16 talents are available for both teams. The Haka is pushing the top lane. Vikings are going to attempt to deal with it, but this is the thing. The Globals are just trying to run the side lanes as best as they can. As they should. They're realizing that teamfights are going to be a bit tricky. I mean, here you see Disciple go down with Hanzo. No chance for him whatsoever. Judgment wasn't even ready in this case, and there was still a quick kill. So now we have a lead in experience, lead in kills. They're going for structures in the middle. Varian not contested at all. The Tribute neither, so the seed. So that means that we now have Garden Terrors on all the lanes, and the fort has already been destroyed in the middle of the map. So they're trying to break down the wall on the keep. Down at the bottom of the map. They're just going to let this one run. Up at the top. Still able to escort this in, and this should actually do a significant amount of damage on the fort. But the team is focusing massively into the mid lane now. They are taking the wall out, and they are trying to get some damage on the keep itself to slowly extend the lead that they already have. Garden Terrors at the bottom of the map should also be able to do some fort damage. So, yeah. But as is, they destroy the wall. Top side is being defended by the Haka, who now realizes that there's a rotation coming his way. So they're starting to fall back of this. And this is gonna destroy the topside fort likely as well. Doesn't seem like anybody is fully rotating in, and the minion wave just arrived and will soak up the fort shots. So the first objective gives the Exodia stack 2 forts on the blue team side. 2 taken out. Bot lane has taken a little bit of damage, but yeah, not enough. Now, anyways, they try to go for the Vikings again and try and take that out. Well, and we have the next siege giants also claimed. The blue team is trying to steal as much away as they possibly can. If you look at the experience distribution here, we have in hero XP a lead for the Exodia stack. We have a lead in mercenary experience. Minions fairly same, but now of course we're gonna have the red team also taking advantage on passive experience in just a moment. So they are doing pretty well here. They have nearly a level of a lead. Once level 20 kicks in, that gives them a significant window that they can start to work with. And since the blue team only has a single seed, there's also now a chance to maybe even go for another objective. Vikings still trying to steal some camps away. Always looking for an opportunity to maybe come in and make a move there. But talking about opportunities, there's another one for our kill comp. Again, there's a sniper combo at the end of the day. One of the easiest comps to execute in general is when you have something like Varian Stukov, Varian Malfurion, just trying to get a taunt through a follow-up stun, and then any kind of mage that can execute quick burst damage on a target. And they are now making this even easier for themselves by using Tyrael in the combo. All made possible by them playing Vikings, so that the strong 4-man can rotate on its own. But this gives them kills, and now they are at 7 kills to 5. They have level 20. Which is, of course, I don't want to say put the nail in the coffin, but it's getting dangerously close with Angel of Justice now in. And the Fury of the Storm over here. I get repulsion. I'm repulsed by this combo and by how much damage it does. It's looking great for the Exodia stack. If they win on Garden of Terror, a 3-0 lead is insane. It's absolutely insane in a best of 7. So, yeah. Nearly impossible to come back on it. Now, blue team is going to get their own level 20, but we have a seed versus a seed now, so each team has been able to claim one. Yeah, it's probably not quite selling it. Red team has been able to take 4. Blue team has only taken 1. And, well, at this point we have still Hazo sitting all the way topside. There's level 20. And he gives us, by the way, again, Epic Mount. So, they go and grab Epic Mount here, which gives them more control over the macro, and they could try and play around, yeah, maybe the red team a little bit. The problem is you can only do that to an extent. The Vikings have pushed the lanes out too far. The forts are lost. That means catapults or something that you have to deal with too. So that slows things down there even further. Now they're losing Hanzo. Easily blown up. Turana gets attacked too. They're trying for the body block, but at least Falstad can help them a bit. But that's going to be another kill. Falstad is gone, and now there's another taunt available for Varian that he can use if he gets close enough to the Haka. Thanks to the stun, he will most likely be able to get there. Not quite. But yeah, at this point, we're just looking at the blue teams dying a slow death. And yeah, that's the end of the top wall, for example. In they go for the keep. This is... Exodia stack is getting closer and closer to a third win in this best of 7. They obliterate Randa, who just doesn't have any chance whatsoever. And it's an easy keep for the Exodia stack. 5 kills to 10 now, and they go for the core. Every single time that a hero pokes the head out, stun, 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 dead. Jojo's down. Jojo is down, and so is the core in a moment. Yeah, well, there it is. This is a 3-0 lead in the best of 7 in the grand final for the Exodia stack. The Raccoons, they're trying whatever they can, but like honestly at this point it's just not enough. The Exodia stack is on an absolute roll and they're deleting the opposition. That's an easy win on Garden of Terror for them, and a well-deserved victory here as they take the 3-0 advantage in the grand final. Battlefield of Eternity! It could be the final map. We have a 3-0 for the Exodia stack. They are on an absolute tear. They're on a roll. And now they're switching their ban pattern up a little bit. Now, Rocket Raccoons, they have been known to play Chen on Battlefield of Eternity. So, essentially what they're doing is they're still going for preference bans. They're not banning meta, they're banning heroes that they know the opponent uses a lot and with success. Orphea will still get banned. Zeratul, they can let that slide and see if now the Raccoons are even going to claim him here on Battlefield of Eternity. But, well, this is going to be a pretty interesting one. Exodia stack has first pick, first ban, which also means that the Raccoons decided that this time they want to make the choice of which map is played, which contributed, of course, to Chen now being banned out and an adjustment being made. Now, Lucio and Tracer, both also banned. Still trying to make sure that Dino's not playing Tracer here. The problem is simply that the Exodia stack has so far been in full control of the series. Maybe on the second map on Towers of Doom there was a time when the Raccoons were just starting to gain some momentum and getting a little bit stronger. But ever since, I gotta say, the red team was just running the show. Chromie has the first pick right now. We have the double pick for the blue team, and this is their last chance. They need to win 4 in a row if they want to win this tournament. It's high time that they're getting some momentum here and really come in swinging with like an oomph. And so far, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this, and it just hasn't happened. They go for Li Ming. They go for the Haka again. So we have the same side laners once more. But yeah, Li Ming for mortal damage is nice. I mean, you have a mage battle now going on between Li Ming and Chromie. But for the red team, we get Blaze and Diablo. Blood Cool on Blaze has been a staple for them. Benny on Diablo right now. Also super tanky at the front, of course. And try and bully people around. And yeah, follow up with potentially even an APOC. Depends a bit on what they want to do here. Lightning Breath, APOC. Let's see for the rest of the picks, but yeah, can obviously go for both plays. Now we have Medivh banned out, so no ley line into Apocalypse, I can already tell you that much. Would have been kind of cool though if we would have seen at least one Medivh game today. I kind of like a good Medivh. I'm personally a little bit surprised that Medivh does not get played more, because every single time we see Medivh being played, it's just nasty what a good Medivh player can do, especially if the team is well coordinated around it. You're not going to see that in any kind of puppy game, but having Medivh train, or like a team train with Medivh and then execute that with proper like synergy and also like discipline through portals is just fantastic. So yeah. But here comes Garrosh. Garrosh gets banned. We got the double kill on the blue, the double pick on the blue team side. Yeah, I'm already jumping ahead mentally. I'm already in the game. But yeah, so they need a front line. Is it just going to be another JoJo pick for play, or are we diverting things a little bit? They go for Anduin, and we have with Thrall now already a triple front line locked in. So Dehaka and Thrall. Thrall could go for Trash Lightning and be part of the 4-man. And yeah, curious what play is going to do. Kind of interested. Over on the right side, we have the final 2 picks for them. So let's see what exactly Dino is playing. Hanzo. Fairly anticlimactic. Hanzo and Malfurion. So you can follow up on Blaze stuns, Diablo stuns, and plays with the Malfurion root now as well. Chromie can take aim there. Hanzo has his arrow, can chunk down the Immortal. And, well, play the final pick. He's actually running down the timer way longer than I thought he would. I thought we would see a quick pick. He goes for Nuburak. They're trying to engage right now. This is their last chance. They have to win it right here, right now. If they don't, then they take 2nd place in the tournament, which is still a very respectable result, but they were obviously hoping for a lot more coming from the winner bracket into the grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity. Can they turn it around? Can they put a point onto the board? That's the big question right now. The Raccoons on the left. In blue, they got a long way to go if they want to be the champions in this tournament. Already a fantastic run by them, even if they end up 2nd, obviously. I mean, these guys have done such a fantastic job. So many upsets thanks to them, and so many fantastic series. We have them with Disciple on Liming now. His Ophia is just amazing. Amazing enough that everybody bans it out. We got Ubi on Dehaka, Scourge on Anduin, Morenas with Trolling Thunder on Thrall, and we got Play on Nuburak. Over on the right side of the map, the Exodia stack with Hazops on Chromie. We have the red team with Dino on Hanzo, Blood Cool on Blaze, Yasuo on Malfurion, and Bad Benny on Diablo. And everybody is just jumping down to the bottom of the map. So, bam! Thrall gets hammered. Thrall gets absolutely destroyed. Hashtag not my watchy. So, yeah, he's completely obliterated. He's a little bit sad. By the way, Blaze on level 1 going into the Neural Stim pack right now. And, well, when we're talking about the rest of the team, pretty much what you would expect. Soul Shield for Diablo. Something that we can still highlight here. But, yeah, time to tell. What are they going to do now? This is going to be a pretty big one for the Raccoons. Not a great start losing Thrall that early, but if that's all there's to it... Ooh, well, as I say, play also starts to drop pretty low on a Nuburak. So this is not something that you want to happen early on. You want to at least get a little bit momentum on this. But yeah, not quite. So Morena's still driving around here, trying to somehow control this at the bottom. Was hoping to flank a bit, but with Chrome you always have the problem that there will be time traps around. And they are keeping a safe distance as Diablo gets a wall stun and Anduin is playing Killjoy again. Honestly, I always said that Anduin, like, well, the character annoys me, the hero itself is insanely powerful. But it gets to a point where Anduin really starts to annoy the hell out of me. Every single time that you have a situation in where it just seems like, alright, we're gonna get a kill, Anduin comes in, zip, and I was like, nope, not today. And it just feels wrong on so many levels that I don't really know what to say here. We need more kills coming in. So, yeah, but we don't get any just yet. Okay, push is coming. We have the objective announced in another 20 seconds. The tower over here is already falling, so they're starting to whittle the hit points down. Red team is currently running the show. It's nothing crazy. Not like they're chaining kills. But they are making most of the decisions here. They take their own camp. This is actually a really interesting choice that we now see from the Raccoons. Why would you do that? Why are they taking their bottom camp instead of claiming this one as you would normally do? Do you think they have enough time to take this? Okay, so they're taking this late. I mean, fair enough. I thought they would rather like to time this a bit. I thought there was a pretty good chance that the Exodia stack actually invades this. They already checked it with Chromie, and I was like, wow, if you're taking this so late, then there's actually a chance that your opponent is making a play for it. They haven't, so timing worked out for them. I could have totally seen Exodia stack being a bit aggressive around it. That was an opportunity that was opened up by them taking it rather late and focusing on the bot lane first. But as it happened, they were able to grab both of them, so good for them. Nobody coming in and trying to steal that away or fight for it. First objective, on the other hand, blue team is losing it quickly. Hanzo is just too powerful there. Hanzo and Chromie from a safe distance, easily annihilating that. Disciple is attempting to leverage his mage skills to get them a bit back. But the halftime show has already been won, and now they're trying to chunk it down even faster. This is a bad one for the Raccoons. They're having a problem here, and a huge one at that. They're trying to limit the damage a little bit by taking the hit points down to reduce the shield, but obviously this is going to be a big win on the first objective for the Exodia stack. They have 11,000 on that shield. If Diablo dies, that's a different story. Stun is in, Diablo is still okay, and Benny just unimpressed, moves out of the fight. That Immortal is going to move top and will do serious damage here. So, yep, that's going to be tricky. Now, as it stands, we have Disciple defending. They're trying to turn the shield into dust as quickly as they can. But they are having a level 7 talent up against them, which is obviously making this push even more dangerous to them. They finally pick up their own. This top fort might even fall, but even if it doesn't, it will be low. And currently the build that we're seeing from Li Ming is already indicating that we might get another last cannon pick on 13. Going fully into range damage with Seeker now too. Benny! Diablo! Even the Ragdoll gets just kicked around here. They're hoping for more kills. That fort is nearly destroyed. Barely survives. Same is, by the way, true for Chromie. She also just barely makes it. But there's a good root on the ground. Not enough damage though, but woof, they're getting a lot on Anduin. Yeah, but Blaze gets attacked, stun, and gone. So blue team is showing some signs of life here, and they're getting a few kills. I guess the Exodia stack got a little bit too excited and thought that they could easily turn this, and well, the answer was simply nope, not happening. So yeah, wasn't a thing for them. Now we have Dehaka down at the bottom of the map. Currently pushing for this one as well. Trying to get some extra experience for the team. Do his thing there. All the way up at the top. The next camp is being fought over. And the blue team has actually taken a huge lead in experience thanks to those kills. Look at this. They got 2 kills, and because of the timing on when they got them, they have 1,200 hero experience. Whereas the Exodia stack with a kill on Thrall earlier only got 300. Now Malfurion is gone. That's even more in the bank. And, well, there's the next kill. Hanzo is gone, and they're going to lose Diablo again. Ladies and gentlemen, the Raccoons, big damage. They lose Thrall, but I think they're still happy with that trade. They are 1 level ahead right now, and that was pretty massive. That was a huge chunk of experience that he just got. They're about to hit level 10, which is amazing for the next objective as well. They should be winning the Immortal, or at least the halftime show should be an easy win. Anything after that, we might even see even fight between them. But this is wild. This is actually pretty wild. Yeah, so with that said and done, we now have the objective actually kicking in, and level 10 is ready. So the Raccoons, they're with a, they're with the back to the wall here. But this is exactly the kind of plays that they need to execute if they want to turn the series around. And Benny is just getting crushed now. They try to go for Chromie too, but the slowing sands prevented that from happening. The funny thing is that Hanzo is actually getting a lot of damage in on the Immortal. So they have to move back now as Dehaka says hello. But it doesn't change the fact that they reduce the hit points on the Immortal by quite a bit. Nothing insane, but given the situation that we were in with one team having level 10 abilities and the other one not having any, that was just a big move for them. So Cocoon is already out as Blaze starts to engage. Hanzo is poking Dehaka out a bit. And Hanzo is actually doing a lot of damage here. And Dehaka needs to be super careful. He's not the only one, by the way. Play. That's the barbecue play. Diablo. Yep, toasting everything in his path. Talking about toasting things. Anduin is also nice and toasty at this point. The objective has been claimed, but Anduin down for 20 seconds is going to give them a head start on the defense. So, yeah, down at the bottom of the map. That's where they have to start stopping this. Malfurion even went on level 10 into the Twilight Dreams. So they're trying to get the big silence out there. Thrall, by the way, killed earlier. Means also that he is reset on his level 4 quest. He's currently sitting at 1 stack. That's all that he has there. Yeah, Immortal doing good work, but can they do the same amount of damage that the other team did? I don't think so. If that's a kill, then even more so. And Morenas is down. Thrall is destroyed. Still gotta deal with the Immortal though. The port at the top, by the way, has been now obviously been destroyed. So the Exodia stack has the first structure taken out. And this Immortal down here is just not nearly doing as much damage. What? And again, Anduin ruining perfect plays. Look at how awesome that was. A flip over into a jet propulsion stun and then a root on the ground. And then, well, Anduin just simply uses on ability and is like, not today. So, yeah. Feels kind of wild. This is just like a normal trade. I think the level 16 talent was a level 20 talent at some point. I honestly don't understand why they made this a level 16 talent. Even at level 20, it was still the best talent that he had. And then they just said like, no, 16 is fine. Power him up a bit. The blue team is still ahead though in experience. So they are still hitting level 13 a little bit sooner. And there's Glass Cannon, as expected. The build that Li Ming has been using already indicated it early on. They have played this style before. Disciple is going to get Immortal damage through with it too. But yep, we got the Glass Cannon in the house. Next attack from Diablo as he's jumping in, but he's also isolated and alone. And a little bit sad. Because he's dead again. And so is Malfurion. So they tried for the Dehaka, couldn't kill him. Blaze is at the top. That full 5 man at the bottom of the map just did more than enough to get them that fort after all. This is a problem with not having the same amount of talents than your opponent. 13 was not ready. And the blue team exploited it. They just came in and said like, alright, you don't have level 13 talents and we're going to use that to our advantage now. We're going to push in and we're going to take it down. With both teams now running level 13, we have, well, Nature Swiftness and Hellfire as he goes into the flame build here. But yeah, at this point, just looking at the Immortal damage, the race is on. And the halftime show victory goes to the red team. They still have that superior potential thanks to Hanzo, who is at 32,000 damage, top damage in the game, even ahead of Li Ming for now. Yeah. And there is a camp at the top. There's actually a second camp now pushing in too. So if nobody deals with it, Dehaka is slowly making a play towards the top. If nobody would deal with it, then it's a double camp that pushes in. Kind of have to prevent that. They are already going for a bit of a trap. Yeah. Thrall is able to get away. For a second I thought that they might be able to just move in and get some proper stuns connected with him. But they are poking down the Immortal. And that's bad news for the Raccoons. That's why they're now pushing aggressively towards the fort. But, yeah. Oh, what an arrow on Li Ming! Diablo is still dead though. Benny is getting bloodied every single fight. He's now on 5 deaths, but the arrow on Li Ming was amazing. It took a ton of her hit points away. Jet Propulsion is also on point. Anduin is running away though, and Malfurion dies again. They're losing way too many heroes, and they're just not getting those counter kills. Finally, they at least lock one in, so both teams without a healer. The double camp at the top is still there, by the way. And Blaze, yeah, he just gets stun locked too hard. It seems like at this point the team in blue has taken a bit of a page out of the book of the Exodia stack and are just chaining stuns, and successfully at that. The mortal battle is still raging on, but for now the blue team is ahead, and I'm not too sure if the Exodia stack boys can turn this one around. At the top though, the keep has taken damage, so this one has already been a success for the red team. Now, level 16 talents are in, and that's the big problem. It's a huge problem. At this point, we're now having the next attack coming in, and there's Diablo gone. Yeah, second immortal, Exodia. Oh! Li Ming is just getting hit after hit after hit in now. The arrow from Hanzo earlier was awesome. If they can get a kill on her as a follow-up, that would be the dream, because then the main damage is gone. And they are banking a lot of their hopes on Li Ming right now, because of the glass cannon as well. Thrall, on the other hand, is also sitting at 35,000, so he's bringing a lot in too. Now at the same time, with the shield pretty small, they will get the fort. I doubt that they're going to get the keep here. But the blue team is clearly starting to take control of this. The last few team fights have all gone their way, the kill count also indicating it heavily. And they are able to push time and time again with the talent advantage, with the Exodia stack is having trouble dealing with. I mean, for good reason too. But once that level 16 kicks in, the red team has a chance to try and see if they can take a few of those fights and leverage the better immortal race that they clearly have. Especially, of course, around Hanzo. But they have to win some of these fights soon. So, down at the bottom of the map now, Play is going for the next camp. And, yeah, they're just 5-manning most of it right now. Once the level 20 is in, it's gonna get dicey for the Exodia stack. Still haven't taken out that bottom fort, for example, so that's a bit of a problem for them. Manageable, still. But they were so close in some of these fights to get quick kills in, and they just missed out on a few. It was honestly a bit of a shame. Especially when Blaze had some pretty nice connects with his jet propulsion. But the CC train that we're getting from the blue team is massive. So there comes Sundering. There's the drag, and Benny is dead again. Yeah, we just talked about it. That's the CC train right there. The flank from Thrall. Maybe now, Li Ming? Ah, they still can't get the kill. A lot of trades being used here, and Blood Cool goes down too. Now they're losing Malfurion, and this is looking more and more like they're losing control of the game completely. They're more than 2 levels behind now. The bottom keep is fully exposed, and they will lose it now. I don't think that Hanzo and Chromie are going to be able to turn this one. And honestly, are they going to... They're not going to go to Koi, right? That would be a bit of a surprise. No, the death timers are also too low on this. But this is looking more and more like Rocket Raccoons making a little bit of a comeback in this series. Now, to be fair, this is a really, really rocky road that they have to travel. Because you need to win 4 in a row. Yeah, that's going to be more than a little bit difficult. Now, top lane needs to be defended. Dehaka is going to be the one to go for it and help out here. And now over on the right, camp is taken. They're going to go for the objective. Red team has already lost a lot of the hit points on theirs just on the way back. For the blue team, it's a little bit of an awkward one because they would love to have level 20 talents, but they're just not there yet, so it's a half level that they got to bridge. But for the red team, this is essentially their only chance. You gotta do some serious work now in this team fight, and you gotta do it quickly before there is a level 20 for your opponent, or it's gonna be an utter disaster. And it doesn't really look all that great. 20 is going to come in just a moment. All they need is take a few of the minions out here, and they're going to have their Storm Talents, which is why the red team is currently attempting to push this fast. But here they are. We even get, oh my god, Thrall went for the World Breaker. And they take Blaze down instantly. Blaze is gone, no bunker, no nothing. Core is going to get attacked by the bot lane wave soon. They're going for Diablo again. Light Bomb, and Benny is dead. Benny got absolutely obliterated throughout the entire game. He's at 8 deaths now. Chromie is gone. At least she got a kill on Thrall. That's something. But Malfurion is just getting kicked around the map. and they can easily go for the core directly. It's only Hanzo that survives. Catapults are pushing in, and this is the first point on the board for the Rocket Raccoons. Blaze is back in 10 seconds. Not that they can do anything with it. It's 4 heroes that are just fully unleashing on the core with Li Ming and Glass Cannon. And they take Battlefield of Eternity. Congratulations! The Raccoons with a victory in this best of 7 series. They are forcing map number 5. Game number 5. Okay, Exodia stack with 3 points. Another match point for them. The Raccoons finally with a point on the board. The only question is it already too late? So they lost out on 3 maps in a row, and then they were able to take it on Battlefield of Eternity. Now we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, the map chosen by the Raccoons. Bans, again, pretty similar. I don't think there are going to be too many changes. Orphea gets taken out. She's not going to be played today. It's just not a thing. Disciple is too good on that hero. He has proven it over and over again, and teams are just fed up with it, and they're not going to allow Orphea in. Which blocks 1 ban, but they're fine with that. Now, for the Raccoons, obviously nice that they just won a map. They did a great job on Battlefield of Eternity, but it might just be a bit too late, because it's so tough to win this many games in a row when you're already behind, just from a mental perspective. We'll see if they can win here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Dehaka is now also banned, so the Exodia stack is actually adopting a little bit of a different ban pattern. They're still going to stick with Orphea for the entire series, I believe. But Dehaka being banned is clearly a reaction to the Raccoons playing Dehaka over and over again. Whereas the blue team maintains the Tracer and the Lucio ban. So in their case, at least, they're just like sticking it out with the same choices. Lucio in the hands of Yasuo is just a huge problem for the other team, and on Tomb of Spider Queen you can zip around those lanes even faster, so they're trying to get rid of it as quick as they can. Whereas Blaze gets now locked in for Bloodcool. I've seen this somewhere before. It's like he likes to play Blaze. So yeah, once again we have the Blaze play from him. And then Jojo for Play. Now, Play loves to play Johanna, that's not new. Now they are able to also play on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is definitely a very welcome pick from their perspective, I assume. Because Jojo's just great here. Good interrupts against turn-in attempts with gems. You have the wave clear that she brings, and she's just all around a really strong hero. Here comes that Varian pick on the other hand, and this is actually something that I've talked about earlier. Varian has been played by Benny for a long time, and one of the games, or one of the maps where they actually started to do that is Tomb of the Spider Queen. So they have now Blaze plus Malfurion, which is a fantastic combo to lock a target down with stun after stun, and they will roam this small map from lane to lane in an attempt to find targets that they can blow to Kingdom Come. They need good damage behind it, of course. Junkrat gets now also banned out, first of all because he brings some of that damage, and on top of that you also have of course the trap, which gives you even more CC. But yeah, we'll definitely get at least one mage that can burn a target down quickly, and then the question, what is Dino going to play? But on the blue team side now, they need to react to this somehow. And it has to happen, amongst other things, on the side of their support. They definitely need somebody that can at least throw the occasional cleanse around. Gul'dan or Anduin. Anduin works as well. Anduin going up against Daddy is always a nice one, because whenever Varian throws out a taunt, Anduin can just simply zip the target back out, so it always works. The only thing that makes it a little bit tricky is if Varian is able to taunt Anduin, because it's just too easy for Varian. You were an accident. Your mother doesn't love you. Something like that. And Anduin just is totally helpless against them. There's my Medivh game! I've been asking for a Medivh game. There it is. We have Medivh and we have Vala. Alright, so can they deal with Medivh? There's a little bit of portal control. Jojo has a condemn. You can make a few moves around it, but we already have Hogga in. So how are they going to deal with the taunt comp with Vala? And then on top of that, Medivh in game number 5. Well, this is going to be match point number 2 for the Exodia stack, everybody. Cassia is the final pick for the blue team, and with that we're off to the races. Map number 5, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 5. All right, can they do it again? The Raccoons trying to close the gap on Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left, we got Disciple playing Cassia, Ubi on Hogger, getting Scorch on Anduin, Morenas on Gul'dan, and Play is playing Johanna. Over on the right side of the map, we're having Hazuops on Medivh. Going to keep an eye out on his baseline stacks, of course. We got Bad Benny on Varian. Dino with Creed of the Hunter, obviously, on Vala. And, well, Blaze played by Bloodcool and Yazu on Malfurion. So, those nasty Medivh plays. Let's see if we're going to get them here. I'm actually pretty happy that we're getting Medivh. I've talked about him earlier, and I'm really, really looking forward to see some Portal action and how well they're performing here. Gul'dan is going for the Saki build, by the way. Full drain by him, apparently, and already gets punished for that. They're looking at this and they're like, nope, not from you today. So Gul'dan with Chaotic Energy on level 1 and gets instantly killed. Absolutely no chance here. Play also getting pushed back. I mean, they started this early. Exodia stack came in and got hyper aggressive. One problem, of course, through the portal plays is also that you can now portal onto the target and with that just absolutely destroy. So yeah, that's another one. It's not only a fact that you can just simply, you know, approach someone and try and make a couple of moves here, but simply the fact that you can now start to come into a fight and just portal onto the target itself, not even having to close the distance, and then get the rest of the team through for damage is already a huge win. And we see it in action. We have Gul'dan now going down for the second time. Now they're aiming for Anduin. He's dead. There's the root, and oh my god! They nearly got the kill in on Johanna as well. The red team is on a killing spree, and the game hasn't even properly started yet. We're 1.5 minutes in, and they already have locked in 3 kills. Benny was a bit close to dying too, but he was able to get out of this. And to make matters worse, this aggressive playstyle that we now have is also resulting in them having 42 stacks for Vala, which is obviously a whole lot. Now it seems like Morenas is still having a couple of problems, Gul'dan here disconnecting, and apparently I really thought that after the first game, whatever issues he had were resolved, but it seems like that wasn't really the case, so I'm not sure if he's been lagging the entire time and this has been a continuous problem throughout the entire grand final, or if this is just something that they're now experiencing again. But it's just a bit of a shame that it's a thing in the first place today. Yeah, for the grand final, you always hope that that's not a problem, that it just all, at least on the technical side, runs without issues. Yeah. Dino, by the way, now on 52 stacks. So he's getting a lot of damage out here. They're portaling up top, and they go for the next kill on Disciple. He gets saved by Anduin for now, but this is obvious. Oh, does he? Yeah, Dino wants to kill, and even Jojo is low. Blue team is in trouble. As long as they don't lose too much ground here and then turn it later, it's fine. But they are now struggling a bit. And also look at the stacks that we have for Medivh. He's already at 23 stacks. And they have enough gems for a turn in. So they're controlling the point here fairly well. And can now just get rid of the gems. Taunt not being used in this case, because Vala was currently turning in. So they knew that they didn't have the damage to do anything about it. And, well, at this point now, we have down at the bottom of the map the blue team, at least with some pressure, that they're coming in with the siege giants. And as long as nobody's defending, because Blaze is going for the camp and has to now hearth back, this is going to be a lot of damage on that wall. This is actually huge for the Raccoons. This is an entire wall that they just got, it's just destroyed it for free. Absolutely for free. Nothing there. So that was fantastic for them. Now, in the meantime, here in the middle, got the next attack already coming in. Benny with a taunt. I don't think they can take play out that easily, but they can at least pressure the tank on the opponent's side. And that's what they do. 30 stacks now for Medivh, and there is the Web Weaver wave. Oh boy. Yeah, this could escalate. Now, we have on the damage side, 13,000 for Vala, 11,000 for Gul'dan. Again, the Drain build can, of course, do a lot of damage. Drain build is actually kind of fun. But they are also in dire need of wave clear for the defense. No taunt, but extra damage on play once again. And 34 stacks for Medivh, which will likely allow him, with this Weapon Wave, to complete his quest. So, Blaze down at the bottom of the map. They're rotating towards the top, setting the portals up here. Just trying to force them back as best as they can. The taunt on Jojo after all. And she eats a lot of damage. Still able to get out. But I gotta give some credit to the blue team too, because they're defending quite nicely. Quest completed before the 5-minute mark for Medivh, so that's already a lock. That's great for him. But the defense was way better than I expected. I mean, just look at what happened on the map. They basically didn't destroy anything. All the forts are fine. Most of the walls are still looking great too. So that was a very, very good defense by the Raccoons. The one thing that worries me a little bit though is if they're not able to get any kills on Vala. Because right now, Vala is getting stacks galore. And if you... Oh boy. Jojo melted. They went through her like hot butter through cheese. No chance for her. But the big problem is just simply if Vala is able to stack this much and then you don't even get kills against her that takes some of the auto attack advantages away from her that she got with the Gambit quest, then once level 16 hits, it's gonna be a disaster. And this is, by the way, something that Dino absolutely loves to do. Starting to solo a boss, and he's doing a lot here. Doesn't even wait for level 13 talent or this. It's just, yeah. But they will likely sniff that out. Because this is something that Dino is doing so often that everybody is aware of it at this point. But, yeah, they're all around here right now. Morenas is in a weird spot. Level 10 abilities are already in for the Exodia stack. So, he says hello, there's the portal, and he just committed suicide. That is honorable Sudoku right there. They knew that they were around. I don't know what just happened. You know your opponent has level 10, and they must have known that they're there. Did I mess up the vision? I thought they saw half the team there. So, from my perspective, he just committed Sudoku. I can only assume that he did not see half the heroes at the top. I thought they were visible, but maybe they weren't. They didn't have level 10, so that was Gul'dan gone. 5 kills to 0, and they got the boss. Obviously, total freebies here for Exodia stack, and an easy fort at the top. Nice shield once again, and he's now at 90 stacks. Light Bomb, Horrify, Malfurion in trouble. Yeah, Varian also a little bit low though. Damn, they are all low. And I think they're all gonna make it. And the boss went through the top fort, so now even attacking the wall. Down at the bottom of the map, well, 22 gems for Ubi. They have 87 gems now. The problem is that the red team already has enough for a second turn in, and it looks like they're going to get it. Just have to turn in with Blaze, I guess. He's still defending here. But as long as they're turning in with him, it's going to be another Webweaver wave for the Exodia stack, and they're already ahead in experience. By 1 level. Stun misses. Few more stacks for Vala. She's closing in on the second quest reward. Okay. Now, 58 stacks for Disciple. Only reason he doesn't turn in is because Medivh is just sitting there and watching him the entire time and can easily just get the team involved. But if they kill him, that would be a disaster. I mean, that's the majority of their stacks. And here comes Vala with big damage now. Gets the second quest reward on level 1. They have the next set of Webweavers coming down too. Vala is already at 25,000 damage. Same as Gul'dan, by the way. So the two of them still fighting that battle for who gets top damage in the game. But with level 13 talents and more than a level lead, this is great for the Exodia stack. They want to crown themselves the champions here. And it does not look good for the Raccoons in game number 5. That might turn it. There's the kill. We've been waiting for this one. Vala goes down and the timing couldn't be any better. Just as the objective is up, they get Vala destroyed. That's 5% of the attack speed gone. 5% gone, and they are able to shut down that attack again. This is actually great. Oh, this is not great. This is not great at all. He's trying to get out. And... yeah, he's able to get away. But the fort is destroyed. So, one fort destroyed with the objective. Nice done. Damn, good follow-up. I think the Exodia stack needs to be a little bit careful. They're taking a few of these plays now way too easy. Yeah, here comes Blaze. Jet Propulsion also gets shut down. But they were dangerous for a second here. Don't forget, Disciple has 64 gems. He dies and nobody picks them up. It's a disaster. Talking about picking gems up and delivering them, they are delivering everything or most of what they have right now. Safeguarding them as best as they can. And the Raccoons have already lost gems, of course. On level 13, we're now getting Roar. There's another taunt out already. Jet Propulsion on Jojo. They're playing around the portal again. Blessed Shield. And straight up a move for Vala. But this time Dino gets out. Still, very nice combo. Blessed Shield into an ult from Cassia. They are going for Gul'dan though. And he's somehow still alive. I don't understand how. But at the end of the day, he still falls. Play is also low. But he survives. There's the Jet Propulsion. Yeah, Jet Propulsion follow-up would probably be there in a moment too. But it was the engage from Varian for potential taunt on Disciple. That was the big one. Portal comes in again. Yeah, they're looking for that Cassia kill. And they should. It's a ticket back into the game for the Raccoons. Once that she's gone, it's going to be super tough. They haven't turned in a single gem yet, by the way. Not one. They're holding 125, but they have not turned anything in yet throughout this entire game. And with the third fort now destroyed, we are getting closer and closer to a third turn-in for the Exodia stack. Medivh provides a lot of vision and control right now. And, well, they're also inching closer to the next talent tier. 16 is next up on the list. And, yep, that's going to be the big one, obviously, for Vala with Manticore. She has lost 5% of her attack speed bonus. She's still a monster. And they're trying to turn in, and they're being shut down right away. So many gems now. Oh. Yeah, and, well, they are the turn-ins. So, they're going to get it. Bad Benny, once that he turns in, is going to get them the Web Weaver wave. And that is the third one in the game. Benny keeps cancelling it. They want the boss at the top too. So now he gets interrupted. But Vala is now at the top doing her thing again. And yep, there they get the turn in. Now they can protect Vala topside. And then they can try and sync this up properly so that they get not only the Web Weavers but also the boss at the top going straight for their keep. That's the first one that they're going to try and destroy here. But yep, they're all ready for it. Vala has started it early. And this is going to be a bitter pill to swallow for the Raccoons. This defense is not going to be easy, especially since they still need half a level until they hit level 16 talents themselves. This will be a tough one. Oh boy. Yeah, let's see how they deal with it. I think this top keep is 100% gone. This might be worse. They might lose the game here if they lose heroes. But the keep is 100% gone. I don't see a way to defend this. Even at the 12-minute mark, the boss might not be all that strong. Same goes for the Web Weavers, but how do you save a keep in that situation? Damage comes in. Yeah, play obviously is now also to deal with Manticore damage from Vala. Web Weaver in the middle, Web Weaver down at the bottom of the map, and they already took out the keep with ease. With absolute ease. No problem. And they push forward. They are looking at the core. They're getting damage in with Vala. She works the auto attacks here. Same time, the attack in the middle is opening the wall up. Down at the bottom of the map, the keep is soon going to be attacked. And while the team in blue has to defend, they're losing ground at the bot lane. Nice dodge. This time the Valkyrie doesn't connect. That's actually huge for them. The Jet Propulsion does, though. There's the taunt. They're trying to get the kill, and they do. Anduin is gone. He's destroyed. The keep at the bottom, by the way, as well. So is Gul'dan. They're all falling. They're all dying. 8 kills to 1. And the core is wide open. But Malfurion gets destroyed. Malfurion is gone. Maybe that's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. There's not a lot of sustain now for the Exodia stack. But the keep in the middle is about to get destroyed as well. And they're still not done yet. They're sieging up on this. They're hoping to end the game. We have 60% on the core as catapults have been doing damage too. The keep eliminated, and I think they will have to fall back here despite the fact how far ahead they are. The kill on Malfurion saved the Raccoons for another moment. But what are they going to do with it now? 162 gems for them. What are they going to do? They have lost everything. They only have their core left. It's the only thing, and that one is also down to 60%. 40,000 damage for Vala. Cassia's at 39k. But boy, blue team turns in. They actually get the turn in here. And their opponents are trying, of course, to get to level 20. And it's a 2-level gap between the teams. Nasty stuff. Yeah, this is a little bit crazy here. This absolutely is. So, they're already roaming the map again. Dino is getting a bit too aggressive in summon positioning. Just face checks the bush over here. It's not getting punished for it. They didn't have enough, and now they're turning it and nearly kill Jojo. But with the Web Weavers on the blue team side, they are still totally unimpressed. And they're moving far out to take the Web Weavers out right there at the source. So, yeah, this one is already down to 50% of its HP. The one at the top lane is still marching. Portals being set up by Medivh over and over again. There's level 20. Gul'dan about to go down. He's going for the drain again, but Morenas is dead, and they are going towards the core. That's the end of Hogger, very likely. He tries to get away, gets murdered. 63 gems that they're now losing here, and Disciple with another 60 is also getting crushed. This is game. This is the Exodia stack making the losers bracket run a reality. They made it to the grand final, and they take it with a 5-man team wipe as they obliterate Jojo and go straight for the core. Huge performance from them. It wasn't a great start into the tournament, but they turned it around and they crowned themselves the champion of the 10-year anniversary cup. Nicely done by the Exodia stack. Congratulations, and also a shout out to the Raccoons and Team Rip for a fantastic tournament and a great performance. GG, well played.